Warning. We are not journalists. We are not players. We aren't even in a union. We simply love the Premier League and happen to live in America. We are not experts. We will say dumb shit. Thank you and welcome to Premerica.
We all live in a Premerican submarine. Premerican submarine. Premerican submarine.
But here's an honest question: is which manager would be the best masseuse? Because it's not Pep. Pep is a little bit too.
Pep will
he'll
be too
like
tactical.
tactical talking to you about
Honestly,
it. Dyche
could
is
be
too physical.
Dyche.
No,
You think so? I think he'd have the strength for it.
Well, I guess it depends on what type of. You strike me when you go get a massage. Do you look for like the strong male masseuse, Michael?
Yeah, I want a really burly man.
You
to
do,
give me
yeah.
give
So,
me a
and
massage.
I think that's
no,
where you
no.
and I disagree.
Better question
obviously
is
not. Obviously not. Come on.
Better question is, Michael, if you had to have a manager massage you, which would it be?
I mean,
Which one comes to mind?
Oh, jeez. Because the dream masseuse is like calming but strong, but like not overly talkative. Like, I don't know.
I feel like a little Nuno.
Let's
Maybe
take a
Nuno's.
It's a Nuno. I think it's a Nuno.
Nuno's got a
I
nice
think
vibe to him.
Nuno
Is
would
it,
be
is
great.
it Nuno?
I would get a
Let's
massage
see.
from Nuno. Yeah.
Yeah. Hello and welcome back to Premerica. I'm your host, Mike Weinberg, joined by my dear friends Sam Thomas and Michael Liberman. If you don't know us, Premerica is your virtual pub for all things Premier League right here in America. We talk a little shop, talk a little shit, and we keep you up to date on everything going on in the best league in the world. So grab your friends, let's talk Prem. Gentlemen, it is Sunday, February 15th. It's a weekend, and we are not watching Prem. That's why we're recording. And I know you're both on vacation of sorts, but would you rather be watching Prem right now is the real question.
Yes. I'd rather be in freezing cold temperatures.
He's in Mexico,
Yes.
unequivocally.
Unequivocally, yes. I'd rather be in freezing cold temperatures in the Midwest of the United States watching Premier League. Okay, that's what I'd rather be doing. But, you know, second best, I guess, is a beautiful villa in Mexico.
I take your word for it.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I'm in the beautiful mountains. Can you see a little? Yeah, you see, how does that look? Look how good they
Looks
look.
like a window.
It's absolutely blown
Looks like
out.
a window, Sam.
Blown out, but that's okay. We
So
appreciate
I'm
the
on
attempt.
mountains in Utah, having a lovely little getaway with my wife and my father and mother-in-law, and it just feels so empty. It's just so empty.
Empty.
So empty.
I know.
It's
It
just
was it was in
Love and family time.
Yeah.
Well, I'm still in New York, so I had an empty morning myself, but I read an article that I thought was interesting, not about the Prem, but about our, beloved NBA, where I don't know if you guys saw this,
Can
but
we
Adam
veto
Silver.
this?
No, it's good. It's good. It's good. Adam
Fast
Silver put out an article that the tanking of teams is getting so out of control. They fined the Jazz $500,000 this year.
I saw this.
And I just thought to myself, like, what does it come to in American sports where these franchises are like, I would rather just tank myself into the abyss and hope that I can get one good player that can eventually save our franchise. And meanwhile, in the Prem, we've got Spurs, who are like one of the biggest clubs in the world, hanging on for dear life, trying not to get relegated into the G League of sorts. And I just thought it was like such a hilarious parallel of why this sport is so special.
I also just think the NBA is like, if they wanted to, in 2 to 3 years of funding and development, they could stand up the G League as a true relegation league and just swap them out.
Yeah.
So like that's the answer. But
we always said they were the closest to be able to add in the relegation component, right? The NBA has the most interesting infrastructure, but no, instead they'd rather tank and hope that
They'd rather just have meaningless games where the Utah Jazz hit a bunch of stars in the fourth quarter, so they purposely lose. It's like, what do we? It's not even a sport at that point. It's competition, boys.
We're literally the biggest storyline coming out of that sport for the last week and a half is whether or not the players are going to compete in the showcase event of the half season, which is the All-Star game. Literally, they're like, "Are we gonna play hard?" Like that's the biggest storyline.
And then literally, look how tall Taco Fall is. Like, ooh, he's so tall. It's like, what are we doing, guys? Come on.
He is tall. He is tall. Well, fortunately for us, we watch a sport that has games that are always meaningful and literally just are so juicy every single week. It's amazing. So on that note, let's get into this week.
What a transition. Wow.
You're
Burp.
welcome. So
good.
for just a quick overview of what to expect in this episode, thank you. What to expect in this episode, we're going to talk about Matchweek 26. We're each going to pick a game. We've got Professor Sam's topic of the week, which is managers, which if you've been following anything at all in Prem, it has been an absolute circus of the last 2 months in terms of managers. And finally, we'll end with stoppage time, everyone's favorite segment. How's that feel? We ready to rock?
Let's rip it.
Perfect. Before we get going, we're going to have a quick word from our sponsors, and then we'll jump into it.
Here in Premerica, President's Day is a major holiday. We wanted to use this opportunity to help share some of the lesser-known facts about some of our most recent presidents.
One of the lesser-known facts is that Premerica has been one of their favorite podcasts for centuries now. But don't take my word for it.
Hey, it's George. All right, well, when you're watching football, you got to use strategery, all right? That's what the managers are doing. They're using strategery against each other. That's why we love Premerica.
Premerica, welcome to this great land, full of opportunity and friendship. Premerica.
It's the greatest pod I've ever heard. It's spectacular. Everyone loves it. It's amazing. Premerica.
All right, y'all. Let's get ready for Matchweek. The recap.
All right, and we are back with Matchweek 26, where we each pick a different game that we're going to talk about. But opposed to dissecting it and getting into the minutia, we're going to talk about, each of these games and what it means more from a macro view, a higher level of how it relates to everything else going on in the league. And we're going to start with Michael. Michael, tell us about your game today.
So I picked West Ham versus Man United. And sort of the backdrop to this game is that Man United is on a 4-game winning streak, which is the first time in like almost 400 days that's happened. In the Man United sphere, there is this guy called United Strand, right? United Strand, who has been made a vow to not cut his hair until Man United had won 5 games in a row. And so they're on a tear. They beat Arsenal. They beat Man City. They beat Spurs. They're beating everybody. And all of a sudden, he's like, finally, I'm going to be able to get my hair cut. Everyone's watching. Everyone's paying attention. He's watching in a literal barbershop. He's watching the game in a barbershop. It's how confident he is. How confident he is that they're going to win today. And yet, it's a tie. The game ends in a tie, and it's just the most sweet thing in the world that, like, Man United, after getting this caretaker manager, which is something we'll touch on a little bit later on, is on an absolute tear. Everyone's getting behind them. All the Man United fans are getting their chest puffed out, and yet they drop points to lowly West Ham, who's likely to get relegated this year. And just another example of why this is the best league in the entire freaking world.
It's so epic, and the only thing I would add to that is the man just continues to give. Nuno,
baby.
No, dude. He delivers again. He's the fucking greatest.
And
the
for
fact that
all of you,
so yes, Nuno Espirito Santo. First of all, best name of any
manager
Prem
for
by
sure.
far, and also just like awesome guy.
Also,
essentially awesome masseuse. But that's
if anybody was to make a cologne, it would be Nuno Espirito Santo.
Yes.
And it would be it would be a fragrance that would take the nation by storm, frankly.
It's so good. It's just, but to your point, like they beat top clubs to get to the 4-game win streak, and then they trip up against Nuno and West Ham. So good.
And by the way, it wasn't. Yes, they tied them.
They were going to lose.
Also had to. They were going to lose. They had to score. Sheshko, our favorite guy, had to save them with a goal in extra time in order for them to.
That's what it is. By the way, too.
Even get there.
It's Sheshko in the Sean Connery voice. That's
it's exactly. It's Sean Connery saying, "Sheshko is my favorite player."
Yeah.
So good.
Do you think he is?
So good.
Yeah. Is he a United fan?
I think.
Yeah, that was so now the clock resets for our guy with the hair, who his hair has been growing. By the way, if you haven't seen it, it's like I'll show it here. But it's
look up the clip of when they
massive
tied the game
afro.
at the end, and this look in his eyes, the life just drained from his eyes. Like the absolute pain in that man's eyes after they tied that game. He was realizing that I have to keep my hair growing because this is the only reason why people pay attention to me. Oh
It's
my
funny.
God, it was
It's
gorgeous.
funny. There have been a few other like knockoffs of that. Like, I'm not going to shave this, that, and all the knockoffs I've seen have all ended. like within like a month frame. And this
Right.
guy's going on like a year and a half. It is quite
amazing.
Quite the thing. Anyway, United, I said last week I really didn't want to talk about United again because I kept picking them over and over. So I'm very glad that I didn't have to talk about them. And you did, and it was bad. So I will absolutely take it as a Chelsea fan, which leads me, which leads me into my game, which I know that we have an unwritten rule. We don't really talk about our teams, but I thought that this was such a interesting game to talk about, which is Chelsea versus Leeds.
Yeah. So to clarify, we have this rule. Definitely not an
people
unwritten
keep
rule.
breaking.
It's a pretty written rule.
It's unwritten. We never wrote it.
But because you think it's interesting to talk about your team, you're gonna supersede the rule.
To be fair, I think I'm the only one who's actually followed this rule. Both of you
That's
guys
true.
have broken
Sam
it
broke the
before.
rule last week.
I am
for
the
sure.
only one.
100%.
I am going to take the most
very
meaningless
true.
freaking Arsenal game and talk about it next time. Sorry.
That's fair. You know what? How about we all get one rule breaking week each half of the season? I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah. Go ahead. Tell us about your
thank you.
Leeds
Anyway,
match.
look, I didn't even pick a game where we won. I picked a game where we tied Leeds at home. And it's because I think it says such volumes about why this sport is so special, at least for me. You know, I texted you guys and it was like, oh, that's a tough way to end because Chelsea dominated for 95% of the game and then had 5% of the game that they were absolutely terrible, which is kind of their thing at this point is got to clean up the shit. But I texted you guys after the game and said, like, I had the most enjoyable time. I loved watching them play. They looked so fun. They were amazing. They had such energy. It was, like, exciting to see what they could become. And I just think back to that NBA example earlier, it's like these people are watching their teams tank on purpose to try and get a player to be better. And I watched Chelsea tie to a team that just got promoted, and it was the most enjoyment I've had almost all year watching a game. And I think it tells you the difference about the presence that watching football requires, both from the fans and from the players, like how involved they are. And then even after the game, when you see them, and even if they get their asses beat, they're still clapping to the fans in the corner. There's this connection that's just deeper. And I really think that as simple as a Leeds-Chelsea tie, you know, in the middle of the season at home, I still got so much out of that. And I think that's why I wanted to talk about it, because it was just, it sucked, don't get me wrong, but it was still like such a fucking awesome experience. And Sam, you and I talked about it for like 20-30 minutes after on the phone, where we just I talked about it at you for 20 to 30 minutes is what I meant to say.
So I was actually literally, you beat me to the punch. I was literally just going to share that exact anecdote. I'd call you later in the day to check in on how just the materials are coming for launch and if you need any help. And like about 25 seconds into me saying that, he goes, no, like I pretty much got it. He's like, all right, so like this match, man, like, and then he literally just, Michael, it was classic. It was for about 30 minutes. He was
Couldn't
just
stop.
going.
Couldn't stop. And then we tied.
And then at about like 15 minutes through letting him do it, I started fucking around with him a little bit by putting in a little bit about my Liverpool match just to see if he would take any of the bait to get off of it.
Right. Skips right over it. Yeah.
We've all been there. You've both been there. You loved it. You loved that.
I did love it.
I loved
it. I mean, we
as
talked for
much
like
as
an
you
hour.
do.
It was awesome. Yeah, it was great. Well, what else? What other thing would I possibly want to do than talk Prem with my boys?
We're talking about Chelsea tie. Yeah, that sounds awesome.
First of all, fuck you, Michael. Second of all, Michael, you weren't available. Michael and I talk post game all the time. I mean, it's like we always are debriefing whatever it is, and it's always
gotta
just
get a debrief, get it out of the system.
Giddy,
you know what I mean?
Exciting.
It's unhealthy to keep that energy in. You got to expel it into the world. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
100%.
It did feel a bit like a therapy session where it's just like my only job is just be like, yes, no, that's yes.
And how does that make
must
you
have
feel?
That must have been fun to watch that happen. Yeah, and then you're like, yeah, it was.
I wouldn't change a thing. I wouldn't change a thing. So yeah, it was tough. But yes, Sam, please take us to City.
Did you get it out of your system, Mike? You feeling good now?
I feel good, thank you. That was the last thing I needed. I feel much better. Thank you.
Okay, good.
I'm done now.
Yes, my match was City Fulham, which was a 3-0 City win. But the point I wanted to make was like, we've touched on this in other combos, but like the fine margins. It's okay. 3-0 wasn't a fine margin, but if you rewind to the match week prior, City is playing Liverpool. Ooh, I'm going to sneak in a little bit about my team. But a really not obviously a depressing piece. City's playing Liverpool. We go up 1-0 in the 74th minute. You're three quarters of the way through that match. And at that point, City is 9 points behind Arsenal. And if the match would have finished that way, they would have finished 9 points behind the leaders and everyone would have taken that for what it is. Instead, City scores 2 late goals to win at Anfield, which is a place that they don't usually win. And then they follow that momentum up with a 3-0 first half, was the 3 goals first half, just dominating performance. And now all of a sudden it's a 4-point gap. And it's crazy just because if you think about the last 10 minutes of the City Liverpool game going the other way, none of this happens. But instead the momentum rides and then they get Fulham next at home. They smoke them. And all of a sudden it's 4 points back. And I started thinking, I was like, okay, because now this week, as Michael, as an Arsenal fan, I'm sure you are attunely aware, although maybe being in Mexico helps you. Like now, of course, the narrative is City's back. They're breathing down at Arsenal's neck, all this kind of shit like that. But the crazy thing is, guess what? The exact fine margins could very much flip the other way this next match week. And then they're going to be 7 points clear and everyone's going to be like, finally, it's Arsenal's year. They're different this year. It's all
Yeah. Every week it's a different.
Honestly, and I'm going to take this opportunity to talk about my team since we both
do
it.
So,
it's something flipped for me.
Set the timer though.
Something flipped for me during this game week where you guys know I am high or low with the losses and this type. Oh yeah. And so for some reason, I was just like, you know what? It's never going to be an easy ride. Like, and if we're going to win the Premier League, like we're going to have to earn it. And like, I believe in this team. I still think we got the best team in the league. 4 points, all the media talking. It changes nothing the way I feel about this season and the confidence I have in this team. And let's just kind of see where this thing goes. Like I didn't buy into the narrative for once. And I feel like, it's personal growth.
If I was there, I would give you a big hug right now.
Big hug,
you know what? I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you,
man.
I'm proud of you. Fast forward next week, they drop points and this dude is literally smashing shit in his house.
My mind.
Everything is broken.
My fucking mind.
Yes, because the one nuance I will say is not to out you on podcast television, but you didn't watch this match, which is super rare for you. So you just saw the score afterwards.
First time in literally a decade, yes.
So I could pretty much guarantee you one of two things. One, if you were watching the match, you would not be as calm and cool and collected as you are right now. But two, also, this is the beauty of being in fucking Mexico. You're in warmth, you're surrounded by family and love, and it gives that little extra perspective. So take that with you back to Chicago.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then the next Arsenal match, you let us know right afterwards.
Yeah, you let us know how you're doing.
Well, I will. So the next Arsenal match is Wolves and City play Newcastle. So
on a Wednesday.
Which side note, and we don't have time to get into this now, but like, why does Arsenal have an extra
game?
They're the only team playing during the week this week.
I think it's because the
EFL,
the FA Cup or the EFL. Yeah,
it must be the EFL Cup.
Yeah,
because it's listed as match week 31, even though this is only match week 27.
That's what it is, because that's in 5 or 6 weeks. So that must be what it is. That makes sense. I saw that last night, Sam, and was very curious. Which is a great segue to a curious topic for our professor to bring us into this week. Shall we? So this week, Professor Sam, our registered academic, is going to come in and give us a little, I don't know, a little insight into the craziness. Thank you. I'm working on it. The craziness that is this manager merry-go-round that we've had this last few months. Sam, take it away.
Grab your beer and grab your wine. Come on, it's professor time. Woo.
Yeah, so first of all, I kind of feel like Hermione Granger in the Harry Potter movies. It's like, so first what I did is I went to the library, but this one,
as you said it.
First what I did is I just Googled a bunch of very interesting stats. So
that's funny. Glad you said it.
Yeah, I'm thinking it for years. Like Sam, Hermione, basically the same thing, right?
Interestingly enough, I do, as I watch the Harry Potter movies with my wife and I are both obsessed with them. I do often more identify with her character than with the other ones. So I think we just discovered something.
Yeah, good.
Okay, fair enough.
So
Continue, Hermione.
Let's keep going. Yes. So first, the zoom out. So I did a little digging, and I looked at average managerial tenure of Premier League versus the 3 biggest American sports leagues. And so in terms of average years spent by the manager, NFL average is 3.8. 3.8 years per coach, which actually I heard that. I was like, that kind of feels longer than I was expecting.
Yeah.
3.8 for the NFL, 3.7 for MLB. And then unsurprisingly, the NBA, at least unsurprisingly, I thought, the NBA is the shortest at 2.5. So 3.8 years, 3.7, 2.5. Prem, 1.5.
Unbelievable.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable. Average tenure, less than half of the other American sports. Less than 2 seasons is the average. And does that surprise you guys?
No, because of relegation. And everything else we've been talking about how there's so many meaningless games. So like if you're the coach of some bottom feeder NBA team, you're almost encouraged to lose. You know what I mean?
Right. That's a good point.
Whereas if you are a manager of a Premier League team and you're just newly promoted, your job is to keep them in the Premier League. So if you're losing a bunch of games, they're going to kick your ass to the side and they're going to get a new manager in there. You know?
Yeah, that's actually brilliant because 4 of the 5 bottom teams right now are on at least their second manager this year.
Right. This year.
Yeah.
This year.
4 out of the
Forest
5
is on
this year.
Their third.
Well, we'll talk about Forest.
We'll talk about that.
We're going to talk about Forest. Forest is on their 4th in the same year.
But also,
insane.
But even
That's
beyond that,
insane.
but even beyond that, it's also 3 of the top teams, 3 of the biggest clubs are also on their second manager this year. Not even the bottom feeders. So it is just an absolute. It's like a pressure cooker. And I think we've talked about this before. The media plays a role in that because the media in the UK on Premier League versus the American sports is just on a different level of how they literally like. It's like I feel they're in the back room just like, let's get this manager fired this year. And they just can like craft narratives and stories to basically make that happen.
And admittedly, that did happen to your club this summer.
Maresca, that literally happened to Chelsea this year.
That was pretty wild, though. Like even for England, that was pretty freaking crazy. He was like doing well, and they all of a sudden gone. It's like, what?
But in like 10 days, he was gone. So yes. So very interesting. So exactly, and that's where I was actually going to go next, is I was going to kind of go down the table. So first, second, and third positions right now, Arsenal, City, and Villa are all managerial stable. Then that doesn't really surprise you. But then 4th and 5th, so the 2 teams qualifying for the Champions League and having incredible years this year, are on their second manager this year in United and Chelsea. So we kind of covered the bottom table relegation point, which, Michael, I think that's a spot on fucking take, because 4 out of the 5 are onto at least their second. But how do you explain the fact that the 4th and the 5th best teams, and oh, by the way, Liverpool's in 6th, and let's be honest, Watt was on a fucking knife's edge there for the little bit of the time period there, so it could have very easily been 4th, 5, and 6 all
after he won
the
last
league
year.
Won
the league last year, and he even was on a teeter for sure.
Yeah. So how do you explain that? How do you explain it at the top?
Well, because there's different goals for different teams, right? Like if you're United or Chelsea, you're thinking we are going to be pushing for the league. Like that is the aspirations of clubs like that. So like if you're falling short of that, they're going to change it up because they need to get into the Champions League in order to get the revenue to stay competitive with the top dogs. So I think it's just like basically different goals for different clubs ultimately.
Yeah, I agree with that. I do think the media plays a part in that too. I mean, I really do feel like that. And I mean, I guess we're going to get to Tottenham, but it's another big club. The same thing. They should. I'm so sorry.
I thought I will say, Weimer, to your point, Ange came out in an epic Ange media tirade last week where he did declare Tottenham is, quote, not a big club.
I know. He's shit. Have we ever seen that? Do they do that? Do managers
just like,
do
could
that?
I love this man more? Like, I loved him when he was...
Put it into my veins, dude.
Yeah,
that's just gorgeous. Speaking of, I'm like looking where they're at in the table. I'm on FootMob, and I have to scroll and scroll and scroll and scroll. I'm keeping scrolling. I feel like I'm going on a journey. 16th is absurd. That is absurd for Tottenham.
And what are they, like 5 points clear of the relegation zone?
That's right.
It?
That's really good 5 points. Yeah. Wait, can I ask?
And they were a Sheshko equalizer away from being 3 points because last time we had that cert. But yeah, go ahead, Weimer. Yeah.
Who? Sheshko?
Thank you, Sean. The question I have is back to the point you were just making a second ago with Ange. Do we see, like, obviously as the newer fan, I haven't seen this, but I've never really seen a manager like absolutely shit on their previous club, like verbally in public. Do you see that often? Does that happen?
It is absolutely one of the best things about the sport too, is that all the managers stay within the media zeitgeist. So like Mourinho is the best at this. Like just like every couple of months, he just does this like shit on one of his former clubs, and he's got like 10 to choose from. So, so all the guys, they stay very involved in the media because they also know that, hey, guess what? I'm probably going to get hired again soon. So I got to stay relevant because of the way this churn is. So they are given a platform. Unlike, it's a great question, but no, it's very different because they are all just right in there still.
It's also the egos on these guys are insane, especially like at the top clubs. The confidence you have to be like, I'm the one who needs to run this club. I think Jose Mourinho is the perfect example of that, and Ange honestly has a huge ego on him as well. You need to have such bravado and confidence to, like, if something went wrong at the club, it can't possibly be your fault. It's clearly their fault. And let me tell you why, basically.
Well, but interestingly enough, in a lot of cases, it is the club's fault, which we'll get into in a second. So when we talk about Forest, which is going to be so fucking juicy. But yes, so I think the other point I was thinking about the top guys is that, so it's like, yeah, you're in 4th place, you're in 5th place, and like Liverpool's in 6th place. But because of the way the Premier League structure is, there's like 6 or 7 teams competing for the title every year. That's pretty much it. So if you're in 4th place or 5th place or 6th place, you're actually like in the bottom half of your tier of teams. So like, for instance, Liverpool's in 6th place, but Liverpool's actually in last place in my mind because they're the last of the big 6 right now. So, and
Villa, because Tottenham's not involved.
Right. Tottenham's gone. But so I think that's part of it too, is like, you're not really in 6. You're actually in 6 of 6. You're not in 6 of 20 for Liverpool. Or Chelsea, you're not in 5th of 20. You're kind of in 5th of 6. And you're like, friends, you're like, but we should be 3rd at least. If not, maybe I thought maybe this year would be 2nd. So there's the tiering as well. And I think that there's the tiering at the top. And Michael, to your point, there's a tiering of the relegation stuff at the bottom. The only clubs that are safe are the clubs like a Palace that are just consistently 11, 12, 12, this kind of stuff. And so, I don't know, it's just so, I think that's a part of it. But
it also shows like it's so tough for those middle teams to actually jump up into the top tier, which is like basically what Villa's doing, right? Like Villa for a long time was a middling team. And
Villa was in the championship like 5-6 years ago.
That's what I'm saying. And like, they have just, based on having the right manager in place for them, having, a structure in place where they're able to keep their players longer than a lot of the other middle clubs are getting their players poached. Like, they're able to slowly sort of grow, and then they get Champions League, and then
we should look at that, by the way. We should do it. We should look at deep dive at some of the clubs that are able to keep their players. Like Villa is able to keep their players, and there's something there. It's an interesting one.
Well, even looking even further back, like there are some historically like teams like Blackburn, for example, Blackburn Rovers. They've won the they won the Premier League back in like 95 or something like that. And like now they're like struggling in the championship. So it's like, just because you can be there for a certain amount of time doesn't mean you can be there forever. And it's super interesting.
That is interesting. Yeah, I guess, Blackburn Rovers had Alan Shearer, right? And then he got poached to Liverpool. Yes. Okay.
Did he go to Liverpool?
No, he didn't go.
But you should have stopped with the first part. The fact that you pulled that name out was lovely. Well done.
I'm working for all of you out there. I'm working on. I'm trying to absorb as much of this.
He went to Newcastle. If you
it was Newcastle, right? Which was his favorite club, right? Boyhood club. Is that right? I don't know.
That's where
moving on.
Where are you? This is good stuff.
I haven't been watching a documentary on the Premier League to try to learn more about this. I have been. But
to whip out facts, but then the thing is, it's too good of a fact, so we're going to call you out on it. It wasn't right.
It's like, no. You're like, really? Good for you, friend.
Alan Shearer, whose striker partnership was, it's like, no, we don't.
No, shut the fuck up. Shut up. Anyway, I'm sorry. I interrupted, Sam.
Okay.
So one last on all of this, because Michael, you said something interesting too. You said it depends on the club's goals. And I think even within these different tiers, like the top 6, the bottom clubs, the middle tier, within the tiers, there are also different club philosophies on managerial tenure. And so I just want to end with a question to you guys. In the Premier League era, so that started in the 92-93 season, Can you tell me, without looking, which club has the longest average tenure for manager and which club has the shortest average tenure per manager?
I would guess Arsenal has the longest average tenure per manager.
And I would guess Chelsea has the shortest.
And that's why we're doing this pod, boys. Arsenal has the longest, Chelsea has the shortest.
Yeah, there you
absolutely right. You're absolutely fucking right.
But am I gonna say it or are you gonna say it, Sam?
I have it queued up, but if you're gonna say it, you go say it. Go ahead.
But in the last 20-ish years, and we look at silverware, who has won more? Now, Arsenal's been better in the last period for sure. But if you look at silverware, it doesn't mean that sort of, ragtag.
Listen, we don't have a Club World Cup badge. What can I say?
we don't got
the badge.
I love how they put it. They put it in the middle, and they're like, "This looks fucking awful. Just move it up a little, and it still looks terrible." But anyway,
so Weinberg, to your point, they've won 2 Premier League titles in the last 15 years. Arsenal obviously has won 0. But also in the Premier League era, Chelsea's won 5 titles. So Chelsea is actually the 3rd winningest team in the Premier League era, behind Man United and Man City. So, it's genuinely not to say which is better, but it's pretty cool that literally just upon me asking, you guys could immediately go, Arsenal's probably the longest, Chelsea's probably the shortest, because that's exactly right.
Philosophy. Yeah.
It makes sense.
So we go from Arsenal and Chelsea in the land of former champions, potential soon to be champions, to a club that I think we can say is far, far, far way away from that, which, well, actually, I did also give it, before I go to Nottingham Forest, do you guys want to each take the requisite 15, 20 seconds to just shit on Spurs really quick?
Oh, God, I would love to. I mean, they're just such a poorly run club. They're the laughing stock of the league. They continue to think of themselves as a big club, but they don't act like one. And, this is like, the second time in 3 years that they're like in a relegation fight for all intents and purposes. Like, it's just beautiful. I mean, like the other club that was like supposedly in a relegation fight, United, is now in 4th place, whereas more where they should be, right? It's just, the shit always finds its level.
I will, great quote. I will just add one thing, which is one of the more enjoyable things for me in the last couple weeks has been social media, which has become so Prem heavy for me, has slowly moved into just like Spurs fans are like sadomasochists, like shoot me out, like beat the shit out. It's just the level, how dark it's getting of like what it's like to be a Spurs fan by Spurs fans has gotten quite fun
dark
as a non-Spurs fan. But yes, it is a little dark.
Yeah, my friend Carrie, who's a big Spurs fan, texted me the other day. She was like, if Spurs get relegated and Arsenal wins the Premier League, she goes, I think I'm done.
Yeah, I don't blame her.
I think that's right.
I don't blame her.
I think that's right.
I think that's totally fair, honestly.
I think that's right.
And listen, if anybody takes a message away from this entire podcast, the entire show in an
don't be a Spurs fan.
Don't let friends be Spurs fans.
Yeah.
Okay? And that is it. Do not let friends or family be Spurs fans.
Yeah. Don't let the loved ones hurt themselves.
Don't let them do it.
Don't let them hurt themselves.
It's sad.
That was lovely. I'm glad we got that out of our chest. Do I want to shit on Spurs any extra? No, I think that was honestly just fantastic. Listen, you guys do that. So on the topic of managers, I did feel the need to finish with the club who, as of this past week, is now on their 4th manager of this season.
4th.
And that, of course, would be Nottingham Forest. Mind you, off the backs of a 7th place finish last year, which was the best finish that they've had.
Fight.
The best finish they've had
in the title fight
in the Premier League era.
Yes.
Yeah. And so coming off the back of that, so that manager last year was none other than Nuno. Nuno lasted 3 fucking matches this year.
3.
And hilariously, he won his first match, drew his second match, and then lost the 3rd and got fired. And so it reminded me of, like the Remember the Titans thing, like where it's like Coach Boone takes the job and then like the AD comes over and just so you know, like, I hate to say this, but like I heard from the board, like if you lose one game, you're going to be fired.
Yeah.
That's actually what this was. He finishes in 7th, historically best season for them last year, loses their first game 3 weeks in, and then he's gone. So see you later.
But unlike Remember the Titans, this does not end with them winning the state championship at the end of this year. That does not happen.
In a relegation fight.
It just continues. It's if the assistant got promoted and then he gets fired, and then the next.
Right. The Titans line is like, gentlemen, we need to be perfect. Forest has not been perfect.
No.
And the reason they haven't been perfect is because I think I'm pronouncing it Evangelos Marinakis. Is that how you pronounce his the last name?
I very much didn't even want to try it because I was going to butcher it. So thank you for jumping on that grenade. Thank you.
Marinakis, I believe is the last name. The guy's crazy. I mean, there's just no two ways about it. The owner's crazy, and the kind of the ultimate sort of curveball of this whole equation here is that if he just doesn't like you, he's going to fire you. He doesn't care, and that's basically what happened to Nuno, and it's just been a downward slope ever since then.
So the owner is, Weinberg will find there's plenty of pictures, but there's one from last year where he came down to the touchline after a match and argued with Nuno. And like Nuno's there and this Marinakis guy is he's like wearing this like ratty white t-shirt as he's like just on the sidelines, like yelling at Nuno. There's a great fucking shout out. Anyway, the guy's incredible. As an entertainment for the owner, because he runs his club like you would like Tony Soprano runs the mafia. Just like, all right, you didn't deliver for me, you're done. Like you're done. You can't trust anymore. You're done.
Take him out. He's done. That's my guy. Take him out.
And he's got the big gun. He's got the thing. He's got the hair. It's literally perfect. So he fires Nuno 3 matches in, and then you guys all know what comes next. He brings in our boy Ange.
Ange, back to Gagdu.
For a little Ange ball. And Ange, after previously being fired by Tottenham the year before, Ange lasts
like 7 games?
5 matches.
5 matches.
5 matches.
And funny how he hasn't been talking crap about Nottingham Forest.
5 matches he lasts. Now, to be fair, he lost 4 of those 5 matches and kind of got smoked in every match.
It was not the right manager for that squad at all. It was a bad
because
match.
Ange plays Ange ball, which is very free-flowing, fast, open. It's beautiful actually to watch, especially because it's very entertaining, and then his team loses usually at the end of it, which is kind of like the best thing. But so it really didn't work for Forest because Forest doesn't have the players. So then he just gets smoked in his 5 matches, and so then he's gone. So then they're on to their 3rd manager, and they bring in our favorite,
Michael.
The crown jewel. The crown jewel, John Dyche. Right, let me play some Dyche ball. Get these boys proper.
Exactly. And continue. So what is Dyche's approach for the club?
A defensive, sturdy football, nothing flashy. Just we're going to get the job done. We're going to be really physical and, grind out results, basically.
Kind of what they've done, too. They've held on. Yeah.
And it works
because Dyche, it always works. But the crazy thing is that, so Dyche being brought in isn't the crazy thing. Everybody brings in Dyche to try to stay just above the relegation zone. That's his job, and he's the best to ever do it at that. And that's exactly what he did for Forest. Forest is sitting just narrowly, but above the relegation zone, and it's a lot of the credit is due to Dyche. But then, unlike all the other owners of the other clubs, instead of riding out Dyche through the rest of the season, they just fired Dyche.
Is the one that I
can't fire the fixer.
I can't
fire the fixer because they tied Wolves.
Yeah. It's also the timing of these things where you're like, how was this the one where you went? He said, no, now it's time for me to light this on fire once again. I mean, I can't imagine what it's like being a Forest fan where you're just like lighting your team on fire every other month.
So, and as if the gift that could not stop giving, this Andy Melanakis or whatever Marinakis.
It's not it at all.
It's not Andy Melanakis.
Marinakis, whatever it is.
Marinakis, yeah.
As if he can't stop giving. So they bring in the 4th manager of the season. Again, just in and of itself, that's amazing. Now, the 4th manager is, drumroll please, Vitor Pereira.
The Wolves manager, right?
Now, why would we like to say how epic this is? Because he started the season as the Wolves manager and was fired because through the first 10 matches in charge, Wolves were historically the worst team in Premier League history.
The worst team in Premier League history. and also the team that they just tied with. It's like, what are we doing? The team that tied with's manager they fired. Like, that's the guy that you pick. What? It's absurd.
It is like it's like literally a merry-go-round of like the regulators, who's going to regulate, who's going to, it's just like pick and pull and just keep trying different options of the same garbage. It's wild.
It is absolutely unbelievable. And so I did a little extra digging on Vitor Pereira because I was like, this just does not make any sense. It cannot make sense. He would, by the way, before he was at Wolves, before he was getting fired at Wolves, he came from, most recently, do you guys know this? He came from the Saudi League.
Of course. Where they're breeding champions
where they're breeding new managers. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. That's where they're finding them for Prem.
So I was like,
sure.
So that doesn't add up. And then the league before that, he was in the Brazilian league with Flamengo. And then he was in a couple other leagues before. And then I kept going back. And then I found that, that's interesting. 10 years ago, he managed a half of a season at Olympiacos.
He's Greek guy.
Which at the time was owned by...
No way.
Marinakis.
Yes way.
And
they won the league
in the plot
that season at Olympiacos.
Oh, shit.
And it's adage as old as time. If you could do it in the Greek league.
Yeah. If you could do it in the Greek league, the Brazilian league, the Saudi league.
Adage we all know it. Everyone say it with me now. Come on.
So
wow,
I got nothing else.
Great. Honestly,
awesome.
Sam.
Well done, sir.
Unbelievable digging there.
As the kids say, you ate with that one.
Is that what they're saying?
I actually haven't heard that.
I don't know. I have no idea.
If they were before, they weren't before. They are now.
I love it.
Wow.
I love that.
Wow.
Yeah. That's all I got.
Sam, what an incredible managerial topic of discussion. Just fascinating. Definitely some interesting stuff. Only can imagine what the last few months will look like and what else could possibly happen. But we'll go ahead and wrap that up today. And I'm sure we'll have more to say on that later.
I will say he might as well give us a full 5 managers this year. Like, you're so close. You've got 4. Like, he just gives us
a nice even 5.
He brings back Dice. He brings back Dice
again.
Yeah.
Dice 2.0 this time. It's personal.
It's
time we make business.
Exactly. Well, hopefully we'll be able to bring this back again because, and most honestly, odds are we probably will. All right. Well, let's take that. Let's end on that note, and we're gonna run it back to our sponsors for one more quick break, and then we're going to wrap it up with stoppage time. We'll be right back.
And believe it or not, it's not just the recent presidents who had some surprising facts.
I did not have sexual relations with that podcast.
Oh, Bill, great at a party, but never trust him around your wife. Well, I believe it was Franklin Delano Roosevelt who said, Crystal Palace. Why would I do that to myself? But don't just take Franklin's word for it.
I am William H. Taft, and yes, this is kind of what I sound like. I was a president along this great land of Premerica.
Do not ask what your club can do for you. Ask what you can do for your club. As long as it's not Man City. I really hate those fuckers.
Can you believe that even 70 years ago, JFK was getting drunk at the pub with his boys? It just shows that Premerica runs deep.
Everybody get up. It's stoppage time, y'all. It's time to learn some stuff now. Getting to the stoppage time.
And we are back with our last segment of the episode, Stoppage Time, which, of course, is where each of us pick one thing that we're looking forward to this upcoming week. Could be this upcoming season, whatever you want. But you only have 15 seconds to share. If you go over, I will mute your ass. Who would like to go first today? Who's got something fun they want to share?
Go ahead, Michael.
No, Sam, you do the honors today.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I'm actually going to talk about your club. I'm looking forward to the North London Derby. Arsenal at Spurs. Spurs just got a new manager. Last North London Derby in Arsenal, they won 4-0. They should smoke him again, but it's a North London Derby, so who knows?
Who knows?
Who knows?
Love it. Beautiful. Wonderful. Thank you, Sam, for that point. Michael?
I'm going to go a little bit of a curveball here. I'm going to go with Brentford and Brighton. I just love both of these teams. They're both really well run. They always tend to have really entertaining games no matter who they play. And it just feels like one of those matches that like could get overlooked, but will be a good watch.
Love it. Wonderful. Well in time. Guys, we're getting good at this. I'm going to go ahead and shit on Spurs one more quick time, which I saw a article that said Chelsea could regulate. Oh my God, I can't speak. Spurs relegate Spurs. I'm going to go over 15.
Hey guys, it's Mike. Yeah, I had to go back and retroactively mute myself for this, and so now we just have like 10 seconds of empty space, so just filling it, and up the Chelsea.
So do you mute yourself in that situation, or how does that all work, you know?
Yeah, so you're going to go back and retroactively on I think on the third relegation regulation thing, I think we just pressed the mute.
It was
Regulate,
poor. I don't...
regulation. Regulation.
Oh my God, I don't know why I couldn't speak.
Wrap it up, baby. Send us home, Bird.
I will do something to that. I'm sorry, in post. Anyway, besides that despicable ending, I appreciate everyone coming in. We had a great episode today, boys. It was fun. It was lively, and we've got a lot to look forward to. So on behalf of us, thank you to Premericans for listening to us today. And I'm going to try a little outro here. Live, love, Prem.
Oh.
It's a joke.
That felt gross. Huh?
All right. Well, we'll try a new one next. We'll try a new one next week. Goodbye, everybody.
Just grab your friends. Let's talk Prem.
That's the intro.
Yeah, that's the outro too. No, just hang this up.
Bye.